Hi everybody, this is Ginger here at Ginger's Rant Show, and I hope all is well. And may that live in Florida, please stay safe. A number of things have been occurring. TGIF, and also it's Labor Day weekend. Number of people here in the Pacific Northwest decided to get the hell out of Dodge and go where they need to go a week early. So many of them left last Sunday, and they're here today. Yay! Hey, Dorothy! How's it going? So anyway, we have to remember today of those who fought and died creating unions and getting proper safety things. Hi, Nancy! Safety regulations put in place. Some corporations are forgetting how and why they were built and the reason they were built. And many of them did not think ahead. This is back in the late 1800s, 1900s, and many of them were afraid of unions for whatever reason. I think they were judging the book by its cover is what they were doing. There are some good unions and there are some bad unions. And the good unions, they do a good job. They watch their employees the same token they work with the companies that the employees work for. And many times unions were given kind of a bad reputation because of the mob connections. Well, that's no longer the case now. Because a lot of the mobs were shut down. You know, gangsters, mobs, type thing. So a lot of them were shut down. Because they were breaking a lot of federal laws and everything else, like extortion, racketeering, money laundering, that type of thing. I'm sorry, I'm fighting allergies here today. So anyway, kudos to that one fodder rights, okay? So anyway, we will keep fighting the fight and getting proper unions. And in other words, companies, if they want to stay in business, they have to remember their employees are their customers too. Okay? There's no one select group. So companies need to start having proper business practices, proper safety things in place, and start using it, start doing it, instead of willy-nilly throwing away the employee. And they say, oh, well, they're more than where they came from. Go, no, if you develop reputation for improper practices. So, anyway, happy Labor Day weekend for everybody. Of course, I'm retired, and I'm basically working for myself now through my store. I don't have to worry about that. Now, tomorrow, in Florida, Pad 39A at the Kennedy Space Center, the Artemis 1 will launch. I think it's midday, but if you check out spaceflight.com, they'll have a list of all the rocket launches that are going on this month and next month. Some that have TBD decided to be determined, because they haven't set the schedule for that yet. So I think this is neat. the space industry is reborn. I think more and more people are concentrating on that. Anyway, that rocket will launch tomorrow. It's unmanned. They have a lot of scientific equipment on board, like sensors and everything, to determine what's needed when they do the actual manned launch and to start setting up base at the moon. And they got several spots picked out in the moon, but they're going to check them all out and determine what's the best place to put the base. Because in the future, they're going to be using the moon as a stepping point to go to Mars and beyond. So, they're checking that out. Because you want everything done right, okay? Space is a different thing than the ocean. In the ocean, we're still learning about the ocean. So, space exploration doesn't hurt because it creates not only jobs for other people, those that support space exploration, and also new things are invented. And without space exploration or anything else, we wouldn't have our cell phones, we wouldn't have our tablets, we wouldn't have our computers. So people need to think about that, okay? And communication's better, too. So anyway, for Artemis launch, I'm going to be watching that tomorrow. So that's going to be super great. Now, last night, I watched President Biden's speech, and he is correct. He is telling it like it is, and I like the way he said it. He said, not all Republicans are radical idiots that you see. Many of them are very good Republicans. And they try to do their job. The problem is they're having difficulty in their job because you have people like McConnell and McCarthy that sit there and interfere in their jobs. Interfere in them trying to work across the aisle and do bipartisan legislation. And both McConnell and McCarthy are doing that. They're preventing it. And they should be frozen out. They should not be allowed to do that. McConnell's forgetting that he is a minority leader. And the Democrats are majority. So McConnell doesn't really have any power, per se, at all. And neither does McCarthy. Because because Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. She's the boss. And if I were her, I'd smack McCarthy up the side of the head. No, you don't do that. Okay? When you have minority leaders, they're more of like an honorary title. Okay? They're not actual title like President of the Senate and House Speaker. President of the Senate is the Vice President. She's only there to break ties on votes or help legislate. That's what she's there for. She's basically handling the Senate arm of our legislative branches. So anyway, McConnell and McCarthy both need to shut up. They really do. And they need to stop supporting Trump. Trump is non grata persona, pretty much. And he's in deep trouble. They found more documents, and they're now checking to see if any of the information has been sold to the enemy. If they have, they need to scramble. I'm sure they already did. Scramble to make sure to change everything. Trump had no business having those documents, national security documents. And that should have been stopped. They should have been gathered up by the Secret Service or NSA agents over there should have gathered those up and locked them away before you could get a hold of them. And Trump Trump should be in jail, like now. Because if he's impeding justice, and he broke national security laws and everything else, he should be thrown in the pokey. They need to stop playing around and really go after him. Pull off the kid gloves and take iron fist and grab him and say, no, you're in jail now. And a lot of people have been saying, well, if it's a regular person that done it, you would never hear from them again. Well, same thing should happen with Trump. Trump is a private citizen now. He's no longer president. And he should have been told that he's no longer president. He should have been told a number of times he's no longer president. And he's trying to use his Mar-a-Lago residence as his actual residence. Well, it's not. It's a business entity. I read somewhere that says basically he's homeless. Unless he moves back to New York. But I doubt if he's going to move back to New York, because New York doesn't want him there. Also, Giuliani is in trouble with Georgia. Trump should be in trouble with Georgia too, because he tried persuading him. And Trump still does the same old line, oh, it's been stolen, it's been everything else. Well, that's 2 years ago. He needs to let go and move on. And no, he should not be allowed to run again. Trump should never be allowed to run again. Since he has broken national security laws, he has no right to run for any kind of office, let alone dog catcher. And I don't think any humane society or animal control within a city or town or hamlet would allow him to be one, ever, because he broke federal law. Yeah, he should. He should have a prison cell, solitary prison cell. He should not have contact with anybody. Sure, let him scream and shout and holler and let him do all that. People ignore him, they wouldn't hear it. Narcissists have a tendency to try to deflect things on other people, in other words, gaslight. And you stand up to them and say no. That doesn't work. I run into a number of narcissistic people, and they try to gaslight, and I go, it's not going to work. You don't sit there and control people. The only person you should be controlling is yourself, not controlling other people. So, anyway, I really, I just don't really get why those that are so, what's the word? Hardcore supporters of he who shall not be named. They need to be ignored, and I don't think Trump really has any more supporters anymore. Pretty much, it's pretty much died down. Oh, and his so-called True Social has been dropped by a hosting company that hosts True Social. They dropped him. So, True Social's not working. He's employing people to pay into True Social, and that's not how social net platforms work. Some work by, they need income to keep working, like their servers and everything. Then they do by advertising and everything else, and people that way. The majority of our social platforms are free, like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, but each specializes in a different niche. And that's how social platforms work. Um, and then they also support online shopping and drop shipping and everything else. I'm on Shopify. And so Shopify makes deals with other social platforms to promote businesses. They're more like cottage industry businesses more than anything. Now, another thing too that I've noticed on the internet, there was a poll put out. They said, well, what can we do to change the political party system? Many suggesting going parliamentary type setup. In other words, have very many political parties in order to form a parliament, like England does. England doesn't have a two-party system. You have two prominent parties, but they don't have a two-party system like we have here. People pick whatever party they want representing their areas and their districts and their counties and everything. And they have like their Democratic Party, Free Democratic Party, and then you have Labour Party and everything else. But they work together. And then who's ever the majority of that party, a prime minister is picked. The prime minister works out of their I've been studying this. You have the House of Lords, which represented the Lords and nobility. Then you have the members of Parliament represent the people. Well, those that represent the people have a little bit more power and say. Now the nobility on the nobility side, the House of Lords side, they work with the people. They work with solve their problems and everything else. What people wanted and would like to see done. And that's how it works great over there in England. England really fought for that. They really have. And no, I am not suggesting we go back under English rule. No, I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm just saying I've seen parliaments that work really well, and I've seen some that don't. But it depends on each country and how they're set up and everything. Now that you noticed this morning on the news, hurricane season finally waking up. It's been really quiet since May, start of June. It's been very quiet all summer. And it woke up today. Hurricane Daniel is way out in the Atlantic, and right now, so far, she has not been any threat to any land masses. Fingers crossed. Because down the southeast, like Florida, Tennessee, some of those that got hit by wild rains and everything else, they don't need any more flooding. They need a chance to dry out and reacclimate and everything. But anyway, Daniel's out at sea, and they're keeping an eye on her, what happens there. They said, the storm system has been really too quiet in many ways, as far as hurricane season goes. The tornado season's pretty much quieted down now. But it's going to get unsettled again with the hurricane season and everything else that's going on. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed on that. So anyway, things keep popping up on my computer here. Sorry, I got distracted. Anyway, anyway, check out my store. It's up and running. Let me give you the new link to it. And I'm going to do this. Copy it. And check it out. Yeah, check it out. There's a whole bunch of stuff on there. I'll be tweaking some more. Shopify has been updating a lot of their tools and everything to make it more user-friendly for the shop owners. So I'm glad I really moved over here for that. So check it out. I hope you really love the set out and layup and everything. And Nancy, how do you like your little kitchen tool that you bought? I'm thinking getting one myself. I have a lot of heavy iron in my water. I'm getting steady water. It's not well water, which I used to get out and rain. So I get a lot of iron in there, so sometimes I'm trying to keep all the condensation and stuff down and rust down. It really helps. But anyway, check that out, guys. If you need anything, I got like kitchen towels, furniture, or if you want to replace something, do that. They got the logistics fixed, from what I understand. I got a very contrite email from Fiesta, and they said, we got this fixed, sorry for the delays. So, some guys that helped with this website, they fixed a lot of issues with it, and so I'm really happy with it. I really am. So, yeah. So I'm thinking about getting one for myself. It's amazing how much you collect up near your kitchen faucet. You know, like your stove dish and your scrubbers and your towels, that type of thing. You know, your pot scrubbers. You have really no place to let them dry out and everything. You don't want it to really mess up your backsplash. So, I'll be working that out. I'm glad, Nancy. I'm very glad. But anyway, promote my store away. Share it. Because I need sales. Badly, I need more sales. So, to do this. And I really would love to see it take off. I really do. I need to work a little bit harder on my part as an division. But, anyway. Oh, and including on the political side, the two Republicans that are saying they're whining and everything, including about the loan forgiveness and everything. I go, you guys are being really stupid. You really are. And what are you afraid of? You sit there, you didn't whine when you got your tax breaks. Well, you know what? You're going to be taxed. And if you don't like it, that's just tough. Because you're still, in the end, you still will be wealthy. You just have to watch your P's and Q's. We need to strongly ask that, because you can contact President Biden directly and ask and say, hey, is there any way we could revamp the student loan programs? Revamp them and make them better. And then asked the universities and colleges and community colleges, hey, is there any way you could not make the tuition prices so high? And just, do it on based how much you pay your professors and everything. Some of it was based on greed. Okay, of course, like yeah, that's what I've heard. That's good. That's good, Dorothy. Dorothy, you gonna watch the launch? So it'll be interesting what kind of information come back on this launch. Sorry, I went off subject here. So anyway, and also I've been watching T. Brown's her Rant. And do a good job, T, if you're listening to this. So, in many ways, also I miss Randy Kervin. I really do. I miss him and his taking the Trump doll and smacking the hell out of it. But he doesn't really have to do that much anymore. But I hope he's getting better, and I hope he's getting the help that he really needs. Well, it's 1:26. I'm thinking of grabbing a bite to eat. Cyrano. See a cat over there? Cyrano, he's sacked out. We had a little bit of a skirmish this morning. I'm having to treat his ears, and his ear infection's clearing up, so he's hearing better. But he's still getting his thyroid medication. The vet told me just once a day on the thyroid. It's not twice a day. So it's once a day. And if he throws up again or has issues again, let him know. But he's eating. Cyrano is eating and drinking, and he's been wanting to go outside more, which is, hey, that's good. I'm all for it, because he needs the vitamin D and everything. Loki, he goes outward. Okay. I think he went outside. Yeah, he went outside. Loki will let me know when he wants back in. And sometimes he has a sleeping hiding spot too. Cats are so funny. So anyway, I will let you guys go. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it as much as you can. Hope everybody stays safe and no mishaps. Oh, another thing too, was it Wednesday? Did I say this on Wednesday? Hold on a second, let me check something. Running out of space here on my thing. Okay, yeah, on Wednesday, in case anybody noticed, Mikhail Gorbachev passed away. He was one of the last Soviet-era presidents, but he was trying to make the Soviet Union better. And he expressed his opinion. He did not like what Putin was doing, ever. So, anyway, I will let you guys go. I will see you on Monday at 1 o'clock. And let's see, let me check my schedule real quick here. 1 second. Let me check my schedule. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm free on Monday, so I'll see you. I'll do my rant. It'll be a short rant for Labor Day on Monday. Normally I don't do my rants on holidays, but I'm doing it for significance to honor Labor Day itself. So, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Love you all, and have a great weekend. See you later. Bye-bye. Love you.